thanks for joining me again. Today I'm going to read the last chapter in Frog and Toad All Year. This is a story in which the two friends go through the seasons together. We started by reading a story about the two of them in winter time, in which they sled down the hill. Then we visited springtime, where Frog looked around every corner until he found the corner that spring was just around. They ate ice cream, and Frog and Toad actually made a huge mess and scared a bunch of animals, in ice cream. They did a nice surprise for each other in the surprise, and even though neither of them actually ever saw the surprise, they both felt good because it feels good to do a favor for a friend. And now we're going to read the last one, which is Full Circle, which is called Christmas Eve, which is another winter story. Christmas Eve. On Christmas Eve, Toad cooked a big dinner. He decorated the tree. "Frog is late," said Toad. Toad looked at his clock. He remembered it was broken. The hands of the clock did not move. Toad opened the front door. He looked out into the night. Frog was not there. "I am worried," said Toad, "because Frog is late." "What if something terrible has happened?" said Toad. "What if Frog has fallen into a deep hole and cannot get out? I will never see him again." Toad opened the door once more. Frog was not on the path. "What if Frog is lost in the woods?" said Toad. "What if he is cold and wet and hungry?" Okay, so Toad is having some anxiety. That's what we call anxiety. And Frog is late. Poor Toad. Have you ever had anxiety? Have you ever been worried about someone you care about? Ooh, I have. I've had anxiety. It's scary. "What if Frog is being chased by a big animal with many sharp teeth? What if he's being eaten up?" cried Toad. "My friend and I will never have another Christmas together." Toad found some rope in the cellar. "I will pull Frog out of the hole with this," said Toad. Toad found a lantern in the attic. "Frog will see this light. I will show him the way out of the woods," said Toad. Toad found a frying pan in the kitchen. "I will hit that big animal with this," said Toad. "All of his teeth will fall out." "Frog, do not worry," cried Toad. "I am coming to help you." Toad ran out of his house. Okay, so we know he's feeling some anxiety. But let's just take a look at this picture. Toad, you're kind of falling apart. You're letting your anxiety a little bit get the better of you. I think you need to breathe. There was Frog. "Hello, Toad," he said. "I'm sorry to be late. I was wrapping your present." "You are not at the bottom of a hole?" asked Toad. "No," said Frog. "You are not lost in the woods?" asked Toad. "No," said Frog. "You are not being eaten by an animal?" asked Toad. "No," said Frog. "Not at all." "Oh, Frog," said Toad, "I am so glad to be spending Christmas with you." Toad looks kind of silly now, doesn't he? With all this stuff. Poor Toad. Toad opened his present from Frog. It was a beautiful new clock. The two friends sat by the fire. The hands of the clock moved to show the hours of a Merry Christmas Eve. So I think one of the reasons, I'm done reading the book. That was the last chapter. That was it. I think one of the reasons that he didn't know what time Frog was going to get there is because his clock was broken. So he comes up with all of these horrible scenarios in which his imagination runs wild of all the possible terrible things that could happen to Frog. We've all been there. I've done that before. And he even jumped to some kind of silly conclusions. But you know what the present was? A new clock. So hopefully next time he'll just look at his new clock and really know what time his friend's going to be there and not worry so much. But we've all been there, Toad. We've all been there. I understand. And I hope you're not having too much anxiety. But if you are, just understand. We all feel that way sometimes, even Toad. So take care. I'll read you another story next time.